Sometimes when you are in a dark place, you may feel you have been buried, when in fact you've been planted. Christine Kane, activist and evangelist. Seedlings grown indoors, even in the dark of a basement, will sprout with little encouragement. It is within them to do so. If placed in the soil and moisture is in attendance, off they go. And isn't it a marvel to watch, even if you are acquainted with the science behind it? What happens after emergence is largely dependent upon the light, its type, its proximity, and the timelines of exposure. Little leaves called cotyledons push through the dark soil. They are barely visible, but for the flecks of green. They are like the upward burrowers of the plant world. Sometimes they're a little bit camouflaged because they carry soil with them. So clever. Below the soil and beyond sight, roots have already made contact with all manner of soil helpers, including giving bacteria and fungi. Roots receive the life-sustaining water soaked in the soil, and then up those first leaves go, spading through and peeping out. They're on a mission to find and receive the light. If planted in damp soil, the seeds have all they need to begin to fulfill their potential. Well, all except the light, which must come from outside themselves. For without it, there can be no life. If the light source for a seedling is too far away or the exposure is insufficient, the seedling suffers. Stems become long and spindly, translucent, and very frail. The seedling stem will show when there is a lack. If it has been straining for a light too distant, or for the light that is too short, the stem will try to lift leaves ever closer to the source until it just can't hold up the weight of the leaves anymore. One morning you'll come to the tray and see the seedling fainted clear away, lying on its side, depleted and spent. And maybe you can relate to something like that yourself. Life has its own hidden forces, which you can only discover by living. A quote by theologian Søren Kierkegaard, and I will add, faith has its own hidden forces, which can only be discovered in its emergence from darkness. God's declarations about life are sequentially stated in Genesis, and I provide a very simplified and edited version relative to today's reflections. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. "Let there be water," and there was water. "Let dry land appear," and it was so. And "Let there be seed," and it is so. God spoke of seeds and light. Jesus spoke of seeds and light, and it is fitting to contemplate simple seeds and seedlings, life and light. We have a lot in common with seedlings. According to Jesus, you, dear brothers and sisters, are seed placed in the soil of the world, where you are, as you are. A quote by writer Sandra Kring. "The tiny seed knew that in order to grow, it needed to be dropped in dirt, covered in darkness, and struggle to reach the light." End quote. I don't know that the seed really knew anything of what it needed or of what was going on. But God as creator did and does. Is there anything we need that God will not supply? Here's a marvelous quote by Zambian writer Matshona Dilawalo. "A seed neither fears light nor darkness, but uses both to grow." End quote. God is present with us today, doing what God does best, loving us, gathering us, filling us, writing us, and nurturing the seed which is planted in faith. Good seed, made good seed, but needing the light to grow straight, right, and true, just like the little seedling whose true leaves have yet to grow. And Jesus said, "I have come into the world as a light so that no one who believes in me should stay in darkness. Believe in the light while you have the light so that you become those children of light." Jesus also said, "I tell you, unless a kernel of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it remains only a single seed. But if it dies, it produces many seeds." And if I can boldly add, as long as a seedling has light, it will grow. So shall we fear the dark? Theologian Soren Kierkegaard said, "Listen to the cry of a woman in labor at the hour of giving birth. Look at the dying man's struggle at his last extremity, and then tell me whether something that begins and ends thus could be intended for enjoyment." End quote. But do we not know that these labors found in what feels like spiritual darkness, the very thing that God uses to reveal the life-giving light, does it not show up? His presence in the struggle to new life. Both life and death, in joy and struggle, God's love and light is revealed. And to here, now. Like a seedling, we grow in our struggle, searching for and receiving the light. There is nothing we need to fear. Light is both promised and given. We will grow and we will flourish, for we are all planted in the garden of God's kingdom. And almost like a little tongue-in-cheek, but something that reveals something marvelous, I'm going to read a quote from a seed catalog. Our gardens are a series of bitter defeats and delicious resurrections. Every seed planted is a life-affirming act of resistance. I just love that. Together, we've got a lot of gardening going on in us and among us. Amen.